Welcome, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Saturday, May 31st, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread? First two cards we are starting our day off with today. King of, oh my goodness. Oh, lordy. King of Cups in its reversal in combination, oh geez, in combination with our High Priestess in its reversal. Masculine and feminine energy right now is in Crankyville, okay? Welcome to Crankyville, population cranky. Why is the energy so cranky right now? All right, let's walk through. Okay, but I gotta tell you, all right, okay, look, okay. I'm gonna, okay, how do I explain this? Okay, so let me walk you guys through this again. I was trying to tell you guys this was gonna happen. So, Gemini energy can be it's very dynamic. It's very exciting. There's a lot of stuff going on at once, okay? It's like carnival energy. But you ever been like at a carnival and you're like there's so much that you start feeling like kind of like disoriented because there's like so much of it. It can create a little bit of this feeling of energetic burnout. I keep on saying, remember, go over to my Mystic Meditations article that I posted over on the Substack. I was talking about how to navigate this energy. What was the mantra that we were articulating about, right? We were talking about the importance when there's a lot going on because we've got so much of this Gemini energy to make sure, right, to set one's own pace, okay? Working into the space of being able to be adaptable, being able not to feel rushed through things, taking your time, being energetically methodical because I want to describe this like a little bit of Gemini energy is pinball. We've got Mercury in Gemini right now. We've got Jupiter in Gemini right now. And Uranus isn't in Gemini, but may as well be because it is very close to the meridian of crossing over into Gemini. So that ability of doing so and working into the space of not allowing oneself to get overly exhausted, building into the space of being able to set one's own pace, right? Being intentional. Eclipse rules apply right now because, and what does that mean? If you're feeling spontaneous, it's not that you can't be spontaneous right now, but please be spontaneous with intention. Okay? Because one of the things that we often work through, all right? One of the things that we often work through when we're going through Gemini cycles is recognizing and identifying the difference between being fickle and being pragmatic, okay? What is being pragmatic? Pragmatism is the ability to focus on a manifestation goal, right? To have that line of sight in terms of what it is that you're trying to do. And what do we do with a healthy manifestation goal? Help me see, right? We look for how to reach it. We identify what we need to change within the self. And we are adaptable in the space of being able to recognize how we get there, right? That is not coming into the space of compromising the things that are important to us, but it allows the context of being able to find the strength to be able to see how one can change in order to move into better service and into better alignment with one's own manifestation goals. But it's not easy, right? And a lot of this work right now can feel very frustrating. Now, what is being fickle? Fickle is being too irritable, right? It sometimes articulates as the desire to change for the sake of change, but what is often hidden behind the desire to change for the sake of change is not being able to navigate that space of consistency, right? When we're too much in the space of aversion, it can make us too changeable. And those with Gemini placements often have to work through this in their own cycles, right? Healing from things like the fear of missing out or trying to do too many things at once, right? Navigating the space of being able to be adaptable, but adaptable for a purpose. Now, what we're effectively seeing, and this is why I said eclipse rules apply right now, because just like I mentioned, like a week ago, if you were to say to me, hey, if you wanted to like make the feeling of like a Mercury retrograde without there actually being a retrograde, what would you do? I would have basically told you what we saw last week. I would have said, okay, I would stick Mercury in Taurus and I would make Saturn move into Aries, right? Things moving much slower than you expect and a lot of the past resurfacing. Now, if you were to say to me, hey, if you were trying to like make an eclipse energy without an eclipse, what would you do? I'm like, I don't know. You could throw all the planets into Gemini's jar and just shake it. You know what I mean? See what happens. Like that's pretty much what we have right now. So I want you to remember that. If you're getting some kind of great idea right now, write it down. If it's a good idea now, it'll be a good idea in 5 minutes. Okay? It'll be a good idea in 5 hours. And if there's something that you want to do, right now that you've had your intention on doing, right? And you feel that little like that if you get that, you're like Taurus and Uranus, like, meh, like just being like, I'm going to just do it. Like that's okay too, because it's moving you towards your manifestation goals. I don't want anyone making a change right now because they're irritated or they're annoyed, right? It's gonna not necessarily. And the thing about it is this type of energy, High Priestess in its reversal, King of Cups in its reversal, it can create a lot of that feeling. It can create a lot of those feelings of exhaustion. So I want you to be, again, we're going to take a page. We can always take a page from the previous cycle's book. How would Taurus handle this? Give yourself a little treat. Follow your bliss right now. If you're feeling tired or if you're feeling exhausted in this energy, follow your bliss a bit, right? Give yourself those moments of easement. Now, for masculine, I feel like there's a lot of emotional exhaustion that I'm potentially seeing here. But that ability, I keep on saying, that ability of being able to communicate upon the feelings, right? And I'm going to stress this. Making sure, this is really important right now, making sure that you're not miscommunicating something, okay? Because here's the thing that I'm also seeing with a lot of this Gemini energy. It's too easy to get your wires crossed, all right? Too many things at once. So make sure that if you're communicating your feelings, masculine, especially if you're experiencing exhaustion, you're not accidentally creating the space of another feeling like you're directing that exhaustion towards them, right? Make sure that you're in that space of being able to articulate about the fact that you may be feeling emotionally overwhelmed, but that's not necessarily coming from a person. It's coming from the work of the self. For feminine right now, I see the same. If feminine is feeling a bit reticent right now, if feminine is in that moment of contemplation, making sure to communicate in such a way to allow the masculine to understand that that isn't necessarily something that's being brought forth from them, but something that one is feeling. There's a lot, I keep on saying, it's a lot of pensive energy right now. But that's why, and I would not be surprised if there isn't a lot of activation today between masculine and feminine energy, because you guys always ask me, hey, when are these energies in alignment? I'd say this to right now, this is like an alignment day, but when energies align like this, you don't see a lot of activation because they're kind of like in the same vibration, okay? Center card for today's spread. There it is. We've got our 6 of Wands in its upright. And I feel like this is what I'm kind of sensing right now. This is like a lot going on kind of energy. There's a feeling of anticipation that this Gemini energy often brings. But even in the space of that, anticipation can feel very energetically exhausting. Have you ever noticed that when you're anticipating something, you feel you can get very exhausted? You're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, and so I want you to kind of recognize this right now. If you're feeling this or you're working through something in this capacity, I just keep on seeing that ability of effectively being productive, right? Like talking and working through what feels energetically productive. Like I'm almost seeing energy right now feeling exhausted for no reason. Like everything feeling fine, but just feeling like kind of like a little bit energetically wiped out right now. I feel like I keep on seeing this has a lot to do with the fact that we've just got a lot of energy in Gemini right now, right? It's like it's almost like the desire to it's a desire to kind of build in a little bit of that pacing, the desire to like move something into a little bit more of that slowness. I feel like a lot of this is having to do also with the fact that we see that what's occurring right now is Jupiter is about to transfer into Cancer at the same time that Uranus is basically transiting into Gemini. So working through that right now, I keep on seeing if this energy is feeling like it's wearing you thin, I want you to think about productive planning. I want you to think about like working towards those manifestation goals. Now for masculine and feminine energy in separation, there's something really profound that I'm seeing is happening. And it has a lot to do with the fact that I identified that we've been talking through the fact that these are there's a lot of these magician partnerships that are coming together right now. And everything about this, I keep on hearing that these relationships are very bittersweet, right? Because there's a lot of processing that's happening in some of these partnerships. The ability to observe what was missing in past relationship. And I keep on seeing like this is like, and I keep on seeing like it's like making room for the hurt feelings of healing from relationships potentially where someone felt like they were articulating the fact that they love someone, but it didn't really seem clear whether they liked them. That can almost feel like we're in a relationship that is conditional on us changing, right? And this is why I see that if this is a vibration of relationship where these new partnerships are coming together and they're articulating upon what their failure points are, or what were considered or deemed as flaws in past relationship. And someone is saying in that moment, I don't see that as a flaw. I see that as the best part about you, right? This is the type of overwhelming catharsis that may be coming through in some of these relationships, because alignment is often the ability. One of the ways we can identify that we're in alignment is when we feel like we are seen through eyes that see us as divine. And there's something about being able to have that moment of, I keep on seeing, it almost feels like the energy is feeling the forgiveness that they were seeking to be the self in the present relationship. What happens in that moment brings back a lot of feelings about the past, right? A lot of complicated feelings from the past bubble up to the surface. But what I'm seeing is happening for a lot of these energies in separation is it's not like the bubbling up to the surface that brings someone back. It's the energetic release. It's the ability to acknowledge what was potentially missing in the past relationship cycle. And that was the ability to be held in one's authenticity. Fourth and fifth cards in our 5-card spread for today. We've got here the 4 of Pentacles in its upright in combination with our Emperor in its upright. So I just keep on seeing that there's a lot of this Jupiter's about to transit into Cancer. And the one thing I'm seeing is Jupiter in Cancer can be very sentimental. It can be very sentimental. But it can also bring up a lot of nostalgia, is what I'm seeing. And what I'm also identifying here is and this is like, I gotta tell you, it feels to me like there's something important happening here with the fact that we've got Jupiter about to move into Cancer and we've got Saturn in Aries. And I think that a lot of it is saying to me when I'm seeing these two these two planets in combination here, because this is what the six of Pentacles with the Emperor seems to be indicating, is I'm hearing this for the energy that's coming into divine union. This is the energy that is doing a lot of the work in Gemini, because we talked about the fact that often when we're going through Gemini cycles, we have to recognize not just what it is to enter into a manifestation, but the fact that a manifestation is one that we identify the fact that we are also changing within it, right? And we see even now that space of trying to put the weapons down, trying to identify and recognize letting go of something that you needed to protect the self and outside of partnership, but now is the thing that you're trying to work to remove, right? This is a lot of the energy that is understanding what we mean when we say that peace is not found, it's made. And it's that ability to be able to be consistent, right? The ability to be able to continue to work in that. It feels like the energy of finding the strength to do so, but it's not easy, right? This is energy that's like getting stronger in vulnerability, but it's like that strength. It's like the strength of peace is what I keep on hearing. For masculine and feminine energy, deep within divine union right now, clarification between our King of Cups and its reversal in combination with our High Priestess in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? There's that 10 of Cups in its reversal. I just keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, a lot of the beauty of those partnerships is being able to articulate and communicate upon navigating frustrations. And why are we seeing that a lot of that energy is potentially articulating upon frustrations? Because often in those moments that we feel that we're being worn thin, right? Often in those moments that we get very hard on ourselves, what is the help that we find in healthy restorative partnership? It helps pull us back, okay? It helps pull us back into ourselves, right? It helps us get a grip, as it were. And I like this because this is the energy deep within divine union that when they start to feel energetically overwhelmed, they're able to navigate and give each other that grip, right? They're able to see where you may be like overly like working in the space of getting too hard on the self. So I keep on feeling like this is a lot of the energy, feeling a little bit of that energetic exhaustion, and then feeling that strengthening of the partnership that helps one like kind of I keep on hearing reorient or find one's own center. Continuing to get clarification here between our High Priestess in its reversal in combination with our Six of Wands in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify? Ace of Cups in its reversal. A lot of Cancer energy in this reading. A lot of Cancer energy. I feel like a reason we're seeing this right now, I'm going to have to figure out why I'm seeing so much Cancer energy. But I have a feeling that it has to do with the fact that the thing with Gemini energy is all about connection. Gemini energy is all about connection. Gemini energy almost craves connection to a certain extent, right? It's that ability to be able to, I keep on seeing, it's the ability to be able to feel, like to feel the energetic connections that you can make outside of the self, right? Geminis identify this intrinsically. This is why you see that like most Geminis are very, like they're very sociable to a certain extent, right? Because that ability of being able to be energetically adaptable or connective, it creates a lot of that ability of being able to feel the vibrancy of energetic connection. Now, the thing I'm noticing that may be happening right now, and I'm just going to tell you right now, and I'm going to give you guys like a little bit of wariness right now. There may be frustration that may feel like it's coming up right now as it relates to either feeling energetically overwhelmed in the relationality of connections, or feeling a little bit of this Cancerian hermit energy and wanting to pull back on things. But that's why I feel like this is a little bit of the frustration that we may be experiencing right now, because I keep on seeing that it's not like it's making everybody feel the same way. It's making everybody just feel a lot of complication in the space of energetic connections, right? I see a lot of it just like working on something, trying to identify and refine what one can be doing better. Now, for masculine and feminine energy that's in separation, this is actually feeling like the most beneficial area of all of the energy right now, because that ability of recognizing and identifying the relationship built on genuine authenticity, the genuine authenticity that we experience when another finds us and delights in what they see. I see a lot of energy right now that is experiencing that that blush is what I keep on hearing. But in the moment that they feel that, they're also remembering the relationship that felt it was more conditional on changing in ways that they did not aspire or desire to change, right? We talked a lot about the fact that a lot of the messages that have been coming through ever since we entered Gemini season is, if you don't want to change, don't enter a relationship. Relationship is where we go to change, right? Relationship in any context changes us. But when we're in healthy relationship, we delight in that change. It feels like we are transforming. It feels like we are evolving. It feels like we're finding ourselves. But when we're in unhealthy connection, it feels like we are contorting. It feels like we're breaking. It feels like we're changing in ways that does not feel supportive to ourselves. And this is why I see that for a lot of the energy right now, there is something fundamental that's happening in these connections, because they're both experiencing the vitality and the vibrance of being more in their authenticity than they ever have before. And when we are in our authenticity, when we stop trying and we start being, we become a beacon for the energy that's in alignment to us. And when we find energy that likes what they see, right, and we start to build into what could become, it immediately brings to the surface the glaring, obvious thing that we might not have been able to see in the past in relationality to those energetic connections, wherein it may have felt like another was trying to change us or bring us into those spaces of not necessarily like feeling like we're losing ourselves in relationship and feeling lost, right? So I keep on hearing there's a lot of this amplification of being able to make connections right now and connecting the dots. Welcome to Gemini season, right? Like if you like connecting the dots, let me tell you, Gemini season is a great place to be. But sometimes when we connect the dots on stuff like that, it can feel very energetically overwhelming. This brings us to a lot of the energy that's coming into Divine Union, clarification between our Six of Wands in combination with our Four of Pentacles in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with our Eight of Pentacles in its upright. This is a lot of the energy. I keep on hearing there's some energy. These are the chariot partnerships. These are the chariot partnerships that were coming together between the time that Mars stationed direct up until the time that Mercury and Venus both stationed direct behind Neptune after that recent eclipse. And the thing about this is I keep on seeing this is energy that it's like new assignment energy. And I keep on hearing this is the energy that says, never like they're taking the things that used to be weapons. They're taking the things that used to have to protect them and they're crafting them into tools, right? This is how we heal from trauma. There's something heavy in Chiron going on. What's going on with Chiron right now? Because this is the energy right now that is taking the weapons. They're learning. It's actually feeling like Capricorn because they're turning the weapons into tools. They're taking something that they used to need to protect themselves and they're turning it into something that feels like it creates. This is what we do in healthy relationship. It's not about letting go of trauma. We never let go of trauma. We can't let go of trauma. If you could let go of trauma, it wouldn't be trauma. Trauma is the pain that sticks. But when we're in the healthy relationship, we learn to take the weapons and make them into tools. We're able to find something energetically productive to do with them. I would not be surprised right now if energy coming into divine union is taking on new hobbies, taking on new skills. It's giving me like a lot of hobbying right now, like a lot of that concentration in moving something into a space where it feels like productive and positive. While for masculine and feminine deep within divine union, clarification between our, we got double sixes. We got lots of 4 energy today. We've got 4 of Pentacles in combination with the Emperor, which is also a 4 card. Can I get 1 card to clarify? Wow, yeah, it's working in the array. And so here's the thing with it, the thing with we talk about with, I like to point this out. This is what's nice about Gemini season. And this is why I don't want you doing anything frustrated right now. Because if you feel like you're seeing something that you couldn't see before, like you're seeing it exactly when you need to see it. I feel like somebody needs to hear that. It's Gemini season. It's easier to connect the dots. Like when you've got these many planets in Gemini, it's giving me a lot of this, it's giving me a lot of the gangs all here kind of energy. It's giving me a lot of this space in being able to put things together. But also I keep on seeing, I like it because, I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union right now, it's allowing for a lot of creativity. It's allowing for a lot of possibility. It's working in the array because, and this is the combination that we talked about that often happens between Taurus into Gemini, because Gemini into Taurus into Gemini talks about, Taurus talks about the groove. Something that you do over and over again until you could do it with your eyes closed. And then and you feel like it feels like it's impossible. And then you can't even, and suddenly you do it with your eyes closed, right? You're not, it's just something that you fall into with easement. And so I keep on hearing that there's a lot of the energy right now deep within divine union, working on the space and understanding and recognizing that practice doesn't lead to perfect. Practice leads to an array. Right? When you do something when you learn to do something perfectly, it leads to an array of possibilities as it relates to how you can apply or what you can do with it. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of energy right now deep within divine union that is talking through new energetic possibilities as it relates to overcoming something that they've been trying to accomplish. Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Cups and its reversal in combination with our Ace of Cups in its reversal. 1 card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now. Look at that. Boom. That is a Gemini read for all you can do. We got a 10 of Cups in its reversal with a 10 of Pentacles in its upright. And I like to see these two cards in combination, right? Like, because the Ten of Pentacles, Cups in its reversal with the Ten of Pentacles in its upright is something's not right on that. On that we can agree. It is what it is. Something's not right on that we can agree, because that's like what happens when we have something's not right on that we can agree, opens the space of possibility in terms of what can be accomplished, right? So that ability of doing so, that ability, I keep on seeing there's a lot of energy right now connecting with those that share mutual frustration, being able to have productive conversations, right? It's a lot of that. It's a lot of, I'm just defining that there's a lot of that here. And it feels, I keep on hearing, it's frustration with refreshment, right? It feels like it's frustration with refreshment, because when we feel like we're carrying something in isolation, it can often feel like, I keep on getting, it can often feel, and this is why, like, cancers have, we're going to be talking a lot about this in Cancer season, okay? Cancers have a hard time with this. We have to air how we feel so that we can connect, right? Like, it's like breaking the ice. It's like somebody has to break the ice in relationality to talking about how one feels, because then once we break the ice, then another person can say, yeah, like me too, like me too. Right? It's like, it's a lot of that. And what's happening right now for the energy and separation, I told you, it's the mutual contradiction that is happening, that is acting as the foundation of a lot of the new energetic connections. And what does that feel like when you get the connection, when you get the affirming contradiction? When you say something like, this is relationship, where they're building in and being like, yeah, this is somebody, I was in a relationship with someone that kept on saying, I'm not right, right? And in that moment, then another person says, I don't see anything wrong, right? I know, follow along with me here, right? Well, somebody working through something and saying, yeah, this is something I need to fix within the self. And another person saying, I don't really see that, right? Like, this is the definition of the contradiction between the difference in building with someone that, again, has that moment of saying, I like you just the way you are. And in the moment that someone says, I like everything I see, it gives us clarity in terms of something from the past where it may have felt like someone was trying to, like, put something on us in a way to make us feel like we have to, like, let go of something that was a part of who we are, instead of something that we desire to move towards. So I keep on seeing, like, that's why there's a lot of this positive or negative energy right now in relationality, these connections, because the energy is getting affirmation on something that they almost couldn't see in past partnership, right? It's like the energy that thought they were a walking contradiction until they meet someone that says, it doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with you. Sounds to me like blah, 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 right? It's like the moment that you have that alignment in terms of another person sharing your perspective, that suddenly allows for, like, the possibility that expands, right? I told you. And this is what, again, a healthy manifestation is not what we have to take on in ourselves. It's what we have to change. I told you, these are magician connections. What did they have to release to find one another? They had to release the fiction that there was something wrong with them in the first place. Continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Cups in its reversal, in combination with our Eight of Pentacles in its upright. One card to clarify. I love seeing the Devil card in its reversal. But this is what's beautiful. This is why I keep on seeing this right now. This is the recognition for a lot of the chariot partnerships that are working on finding peace. They understand, like, this is the work. This is energy that's working deep into Chiron right now. Oh, no wonder Venus is almost on top of Chiron right now. Peace is not found. It's made every day. And every day the unpeaceful feeling arrives, and every day you work to suppress the unpeaceful feeling. This is how we heal from trauma. It's a recognition that trauma never goes away. Like those who are healed, who've come from trauma, it's not like they just wake up one day and the trauma's gone. Every day they make the choice to move the trauma behind them. Every day they make the choice to build into the space of making peace. A lot of this energy here, and a lot of that is, I told you, it's swan energy. Okay? Because it's that swan space where we understand that when we work on something every day, it becomes the energetic norm. I'm telling you even now, like these are energies that in the past fell out of alignment because they started to have a heart opening. And in the moment that they had a heart opening, they started projecting it out. Like they couldn't believe the peace that they found. And this is the energy that's working on believing their own ability to sustain peace, because the only way we heal is if we believe in our own ability of doing so. This is why we have to let go of those, like, what does the trauma tell us? You're never going to be able to change. You're never going to be good enough. You're always going to be this way, right? And when we start to heal from the trauma, we start saying to ourselves, I believe in my own capacity to change. And it's when that ability of doing so, it's not the fact that those unhealthy thoughts don't come up, but those ability of saying, that's just the trauma talking again. Wait a minute. Just, like, go away, right? And you move that away. And when you do so, right, it allows you that space of possibility. And this is why I keep on hearing when we're in healthy relationship, we talk to each other from a space of honor, right? We've got Mars and Leo. These are warrior, like these are the energies that are working on the warrior lessons, which is like I keep on hearing the energy that when we and like these are Gemini lessons, right? This is why we talk about the fact that we say if you want to know someone's state of mind, see who they keep near them, because that ability of feeling that encouragement, feeling that positivity, right? When we're in the space where we hear that energetic support, it moves us, it shows the fact that we're in a space that we're ready to receive it. But often we can tell that sometimes when we're not in healthy spaces, we move more in the inclination of those that say worse things to us or say things that are damaging because we're still in the space of believing them. Because in order to heal, we have to believe in ourselves. Because by believing in ourselves, we cultivate the space of seeking energy that feels restorative and vital instead of running towards something that feels like it indulges in what the trauma says about ourselves. Continuing to get clarification between our 8 of Pentacles in its upright in combination with our 7 of Cups in its upright. One card to clarify. We've got the Tower in its reversal. What a beautiful array of cards we have right now in the third space spread. We've got the 10 of Pentacles in its upright, the Devil card in its reversal, and the Tower card in its reversal. So I keep on seeing that there's something very beautiful in relationality to understanding that the ability to I keep on saying the ability to recognize and identify what feels energetically supportive is one where it always makes sense, is what I keep on hearing. Like that's what Gemini talks about a lot too. The thing is, and this is the thing that's really, really beautiful about Gemini energy. Gemini energy is incredibly logical. Gemini energy, even when they dream, it's not the dream of like the fantasy. It's the dream about like making like what you can do in the space of reality. There's a lot of Gemini that's like, I don't like, what's the point of like Geminis like creating dreams in the space of reality. You know what I mean? Like the energy, like Gemini is always like, why can't this just be every day? You know what I mean? Like Gemini's like what's stopping us from just making the dream a reality? You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of that type of event. Like you meet a Gemini, they're like let's do it. Like, that's why Gemini is like, you gotta watch what you say to Gemini. Gemini's like, let's do it. Like, Gemini's will be like, I am on board. I have the schematics. We just need the right, like, Gemini's like, we can do anything. We just need enough people. What does Gemini say? We can do anything. We just need to get enough people on board. Okay, Gemini is always like, we can do anything. We just need to get enough people on board. Okay. Like, and that's the thing with Gemini. Like, this is why Gemini, they don't believe in fantasy. Gemini is about making the dream a reality, because Gemini always comes here with the recognition of saying anything can happen if you get enough people on board. Okay. Like, you get enough people on board. And so, and I feel like this is really, I told you, it's multi-ball energy. It's multi-ball energy, right? So we've got a lot of this type of energy here with all of this Gemini energy floating around. And so I feel like a lot of discussing about dreams right now. I told you, this is like manifestation mode, working through those plans. Right? What's it going to take to get there? Because Gemini, and this is why Gemini, like, here's the thing, Gemini, and this is why you might, if you know a Gemini don't like to hear woulda, coulda, shouldas. Geminis don't like to hear, like, I wish. Gemini's like, why aren't you doing it? Like, Gemini and Aries are like, and Aries is like, because they're both going clocks ticking, right? They're going clocks ticking, right? Like, let's just do it now. Like, Gemini doesn't like to wait on things. That's why Gemini, like, it's like they're like, again, this is the only thing with Aries and Gemini. Their patience is like, boop, boop, boop. So I feel like, and here's the thing, like, for the energy in separation, a lot of this work that we're identifying, it feels positive, it feels productive, but I can see some of these new relationships where it's like someone's seeing something and they're like biting their fist as they see it, because they're recognizing the fact that they're recognizing the energetic alignment point in building into a relationship where never have they felt more seen, but never have they allowed themselves to be more exposed. Because we talked about this through Taurus energy. In order to be seen, you have to be exposed, right? The ability to feel the vulnerability of being able to be the self, to be able to inhabit the space of the self, right? This is the energy that understands that this journey is one that when we're able to build into our authenticity and we find someone there who loves everything they see, we suddenly can recognize and identify those relationships that we move towards more from aversion because we weren't ready to accept ourselves in that authenticity. And this is why I hear a lot of this energy that's holding something in both hands, which is not saying it's all their fault. I see this energy going, it's not all their fault that they were building into the expectation. I can see the energy almost claiming some kind of ownership and saying, I was also not ready to inhabit the space of being my own authentic self. This is what we mean with healing. It's the identification point of the mutual acknowledgement of both what we experienced versus what we ourselves might have kind of moved towards because we weren't ready to acknowledge or identify something that we saw, but we were trying to energetically avoid, right? So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of, I like this because what I'm seeing is happening right now for a lot of the energy in separation is like it's giving a little good riddance energy, because this is the energy that's saying better, not bitter, right? The relief in identifying something and seeing the difference between what one, and I even see some energy right now in separation saying, it's not a question, it's not a question of having been able to stay in some kind of past relationship. This is the energy that says, I can see exactly who I would have had to become. And that's just not me. And sometimes those moments, it's sad, but it's also reaffirming to the context of the self in the process, while continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Pentacles in its upright in combination with our Devil card in its reversal. We've got here our Strength card. This is the energy I told you. These are the Chariot partnerships that are coming into union right now. They're like, I keep on hearing, coming into union is the easy thing. maintaining it. That is where the work begins. And this is the energy I told you. What does it feel like? This is the energy that's getting stronger in that. And this is why we always have to heal from our trauma, because, when we experience peace for the first time, it feels like an illusion. But when we believe in the illusion of our peace, it becomes our reality, right? That often that ability of being able to step into what is better for us when we haven't experienced it before, it doesn't feel real. But our own ability to build consistency into that surrealness, right, is the journey of coming into the new reality. So I keep on seeing these are the energies right now that are coming into that, and it feels surreal. Continuing to get clarification between our Devil card and its reversal in combination with our Tower card and its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? There's that we got a Three of Cups in its reversal. Now, for a lot of the energy right now, deep within Divine Union, I keep on seeing there's a little bit of protectiveness is what I keep on seeing here. And I got to stress this right now. I'm going to tell you all the same thing. I'm going to keep on repeating this. I want you to be really, really, really conscientious right now in conversations that you have related to irritation. And it's okay. It's okay to be feeling irritated right now about things. But remember, the difference between a critical argument, conversation, one that we're just beating each other over one another's heads with irritation, versus a constructive conversation, is bringing solutions with the irritation. Because when we're too much in our ego and we feel irritation, we just complain all the time. And I got to tell you right now, there's just a little bit of this vibe that I want to be conscientious about, okay? We got too many planets in Gemini, too many planets in Aries. Uranus is in Taurus, pushing into Gemini. It can be a lot of this, I don't like this. It can be a lot of it's a lot of scratchy. It's a scratchy sweater energy, okay? I told you, it can feel very much like an eclipse, which is something small that would typically not bother you, feeling like it's all you can concentrate on, okay? So if you're feeling this right now, don't say that you're annoyed. Bring the solution with you, okay? Because if you can't find the solution, that's a you problem, okay? That's your ego, okay? If you're feeling irritated, but you can't put your finger on why, that is the ego, okay? Okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a little bit of this energy, right? It's very, and for those who do not handle Aries energy well, it'll be easier for those with Aries placements, because Aries placements feel like this all the time. It'll be easier for those with Gemini placements, because Gemini feel like this all the time, right? What do Aries feel all the time? This is taking too long. Okay. Aries walk around with the song, this is taking too long. Okay. And Gemini walk around humming the song, I could be doing something else right now. Okay. So I keep on saying, this is like when FAFO meets Try Me. This is like the mutual song of this is taking too long, meeting I could be doing something else right now. Okay. And you're putting these together, and all you're healing right now is this is taking too long. I could be doing something else right now. You could be taking too long. I could be doing something else right. And so that in itself, that constant chatter in the brain right now that you may be hearing, that is the tune that is often the accompaniment of the life of an Aries and a Gemini. I'm going to say it again. Don't change for the sake of change right now. I don't want to be having to do a reading for you in a couple days when you say, what have I done? I'm going to be like, I'll tell you what you did. You let all that Gemini energy get to you. Okay. I am trying to help you. I'm trying to help you right now. You can be changed, and it doesn't mean you can't do anything. Be responsible in your change. Make sure it has reason. Make sure it is logical right now. Okay? No changing. None of this, now time for something different kind of stuff. Okay? None of this, now time for something different. Okay? Make sure that even if it is, make sure that there is a manifestation upon it. Okay? That is just a message across all of the frequencies. Final card today between our strength card in its upright in combination with our 3 of cups in its reversal. There it is. Six. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So much. We got a lot of sixes here. We got a lot of sixes. We've got a lot of sixes, and we've got a lot of fours. Okay? And I like that. You know why I like a lot of sixes and fours? Because you put 6 and 4 together, you get a 10. Okay? It's not about ideals right now. Remember, ideal is what you make with less than ideal situations. Okay? And the beauty of Gemini energy is it's amazing at connecting dots. Like boop, 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 like connect the dots, Gemini. Pinball energy, Gemini, right? It's all about working in the space of an array. And that's why I'm saying right now, if you're feeling frustrated with something that you're trying to do, if you feel like you're like no board flipper energy right now, because I'm going to tell you right now, there's some energy. I'm going to tell you there's some energy right now that wants to flip a board that's on the cusp of a breakthrough. This is energy right now that may be feeling like you are about to flip a board and you are on the cusp of a breakthrough. So I want you to recognize and I want you to work through that right now by looking for energetic solutions. Now is not the time to be focusing on problems. Because I'll tell you right now, with all of this energy, the thing with Gemini and Aries that is unified, Gemini and Aries are very similar in certain ways. Gemini and Aries do not like wasting time talking about what's not working, right? Aries is a lot of this Aries is a lot of Aries is a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Like no grumbling. Right? It's a lot of that, it's working through the space of perseverance. Gemini is very solution focused, saying, okay, there's a million different ways to do something, right? Gemini says, if it's not working, Gemini loves failing. This is why Geminis love failing at something, because I told you, Gemini and Aries don't believe in failure. Gemini always looks at failure and goes, I just figured out a way it doesn't work, which brings me closer to what works. Right? Gemini is all about trial and error. Aries is about practice makes perfect. So the same song, okay? The same song that says I could be doing something else right now, right? And, this is a waste of my time. That same space can also be in the tune of practice makes perfect. And I just figured out another way it doesn't work, which brings me closer to what does, okay? So I want you to make sure that you're working in terms of, again, if you're articulating frustration right now, bring your solution with you, right? Bring the solution with you. The way you can tell the difference between a criticism and a critique is this is what I think could be better, versus criticism that says, I don't like this, but doesn't necessarily give a reason on how to fix something. So make sure that you're having those kind of productive conversations. And it doesn't mean you can't navigate a force of change right now. But remember, spontaneity with intention is a surprise. Spontaneity with intention is a surprise. Just changing your mind on something at the last minute is fickleness, right? So make sure that you're not being fickle about things. Make sure you're being specific as to why you're changing or why you're being energetically adaptable. And this is across all of the frequencies right now. Bottom of the... Oh, all right. And again, we've got another card. Typical Gemini fashion. I was about to do the bottom of the card. I was about to do the last card, but then another card literally stuck to my elbow because I was leaning on the cards. So now this is here too. Yeah, this is just further confirmation on this, right? Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords. The productive frustration. Navigating frustration with solutions leads to breakthroughs. So make sure you're being productive with your frustration. And if you're feeling a little blah right now, if you're feeling a little exhausted, take a page from Taurus season, right? Give yourself a little treat. Give yourself a little motivation. Okay. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Cups in its reversal. So, I don't know why this is coming through right now. I don't know why this is coming through, but I feel like it needs to be said. Make sure that you're not hurting your own feelings, is what I'm getting right now. There's something about this energy where I'm just hearing there's a big possibility of hurting your own feelings. And what does it look like when you're hurting your own feelings? Okay. Hurting your own feelings is thinking about something that hasn't happened to such an extent that you're experiencing like it has. Okay? Hurting your own feelings is thinking about something that hasn't happened to such an extent that you start reacting like you have. Okay? This is not the time to like go into your little headspace about a million different things that are happening, because that's the thing about this right now. There's like a little bit of lag, and I can see that energy is just going like that's the only that Gemini have a tendency of this because it's filling in the blanks. Okay? Don't be filling in blanks and then hurting your own feelings in the process. If you hear hoofbeats, assume horses, not zebras. Okay? Because I just keep on seeing there's just a little bit of this energy. It's like it's racing mind kind of energy. I told you it's multi-ball, right? So it's waiting on something, and then your little brain is going like it's got all the Gemini energy, which thinks of like a million other things that could be happening instead of maybe someone else is just as exhausted as you are right now, right? I told you, masculine and feminine, bearing in mind this is not based on gender right now. This is break energy. This is R&R. This is taking a nap, okay? So if somebody is like a little bit more quiet right now, I don't want you getting in your head about all the things that could mean, all right? Like operate in the space of again, being energetically positive as to what feels like the most logical reason to things. Because I just keep on seeing right now that a little bit of this, I keep on hearing there's something, I got to see why I keep on getting the sense that there's something about it feeling like a lot of Cancer energy, which feels like a lot of going into hermit mode for a certain extent. And I think that a reason it has to do that is I know what's happening. Venus is almost on top of Chiron right now, which is everybody is feeling a little tender in the space of emotions and love right now. Everybody is nursing some love wounds, even some love wounds from the past. Because I'll tell you, Venus in Chiron is like, oh man, that like, oh, my war wound, it's acting up again. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of that, like, it's a lot of that kind of energy being like, oh man, like it's giving me a lot of that type of energy right now. It may be having energy going pensive because it's just like, I keep on seeing like Venus in Chiron can be a little bit morose. Like it's like Venus on top of Chiron can be like feeling a lot of sentimentality, a lot of I was like, where's all this nostalgia coming from? Saturn is almost on top of Neptune too. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of energy right now dwelling in the space of emotions, feeling a lot of them, being a little pensive in that space. Make sure you're not misreading things or getting your wires crossed. Okay, make sure you're communicating and make sure you're giving each other the benefit of the doubt. That's happening across all of the frequencies. So I'm going to tell you right now. All right. I love this energy for daydreaming. I love this energy for manifesting. I love this energy for creativity. I love this energy for making new important connections. Don't break anything because you're feeling super sensitive right now. Okay? That same sensitivity that I'm identifying here can almost create a little volatility. So make sure you're being productive in that space. All right? And again, especially making sure that you're not misreading situations, because with all of this Gemini energy flying around, it's easy to get your wires crossed. All right. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading and you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent class on the death card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, June 11th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Temperance card. I'm so excited to teach this card. We're going to talk about the symbolism of that card, the history of the card. I'm going to be working you through spread applications, how to read that card in any direction it may appear in your own readings. I'm also going to be offering you a unique spread you can take with you from that class. And all you need to do, if you would like to become a part of those tarot class program, is mosey on over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I do my best to give you an update on everything we've studied in each and every class, but now's a great time to catch up if you'd like to, because you got about, you got like a couple weeks. You got a few classes you can take every day to get caught up. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions you may have in relation to anything we're learning or have studied thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, you will also receive full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. That is access to over 14 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. You will also have access to a one-on-one chat with, you can also have access to receiving a complimentary one-on-one medium mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your impact towards your personal tarot goals. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to make sure that you get to see the each day's podcast with each day's spread. You will also be able to you'll also be able to get there my Mystic Meditation articles, which give you recaps on what we've been seeing energetically in the cards in article form. You'll also have access to my weekly newsletter, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my clients seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. These can be purchased per dream or as a series. I would encourage, if you purchase the dream series package, that you start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow.